Hi, this is Johnny Burgin with another Chicago blues guitar lesson, and I got a special topic today that people told me they'd be interested in hearing about, and there's a lot to talk about: putting together a set. Now, there's something really important that comes before all that, and that's the real hard part. Real hard part is, what is your repertoire, and what does that say about you, and what should it be? Which, in order to get to that, you have to really actually look yourself in the mirror and say, who am I and what am I all about? You know, songs are like shirts. They may or may not look good on you. What are songs that are meaningful to you and that sort of say in a bullet point, this is an aspect of what I'm all about? And a real good set should not just have a nice flow to it. I mean, that's one topic of conversation, but everything should have like a meaning, a reason to be there. That, you can't do that in 5 minutes. That takes trial and error, it takes experience, it takes a lot. But you might be playing gigs already before you really like have a lot of your own songs, or you've really picked the songs that you might feel are the most meaningful to you. I always get a little bit disenchanted by, if I go see a band, let's say a local blues band somewhere, and they're doing a song like Automatic by the Red Devils, or Eyes Like a Cat by Little Charlie, or they're doing Born in Chicago, which is a great song. These are all great songs and great bands. Don't get me wrong, but I wonder if you're just kind of sticking to whatever your gateway drugs are, maybe you haven't quite answered that big question of, what am I all about, and what are songs that express me and stuff? It should be more than just like the favorite. I mean, and it's okay to do those songs or whatever. It might be a Johnny Winter song, it might be Hey Joe, whatever it might be. You know, everybody can probably upgrade their repertoire here and there, and it's so satisfying when you see a band with a tremendous repertoire that's, even if it's not all originals, that's fine, but it's songs that are really well chosen and says who they are and what they're all about. That's ultimately the goal, but you might have a lot of gigs before you get to that level of repertoire nirvana. Either way, whatever songs you're doing, you can still create a nice flow. So let's talk about the first song. I'm going to go ahead and just use a set of mine. If I can get it here. Where the hell is my set? Okay. Right here. So, who am I and what am I all about? Well, I put out a CD, Rambling from Coast to Coast, and I really feel like it represents that. So I did the title track. I opened up with that because it starts out with a drum beat like boom. It starts out at a really good tempo that gets everybody's attention. And so you can even just practice your sets a little bit and picture each groove as, you know, play them one after the other and see how do you like it. This kind of says, settle down kids, I'm about to have a show here. You know, it pulls everybody in. So that's been working. That works really well for me. Some people like to start out with an instrumental. Now, if you're doing a back in the Midwest over and over again, I'd play 4-hour club dates over and over. Yeah, start out with an instrumental. Or if you're playing, you know, at some restaurant or whatever, and you don't want to be like blowing people out of the water, yeah, maybe you start out with a Red Top or something, or I don't know whatever instrumental, you know, that says something about you and shows something cool about your playing. You got to be doing it for some reason that works for you, right? So anyway, but I start right out meat and potatoes with this good groove. The lyrics say what I'm all about. It sort of doubles down on my image or rep or whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's what people know me for, is like constantly being on tour and all that. That's what the song's about. So I'm saying what I'm all about right off the bat. Then I go into something else, which is a similar but different rhythm. I'm really picking things mostly by rhythm. And honestly, like, I've known people and they're like, oh, they're organizing their songs by keys. I don't care about keys. I'll do 4 B flats in a row. That's fine. If it has a different groove, mood, rhythm, no one's really, it's not that big a deal. My second one, okay. I've been doing this one. It works really well. Cry for me. Well, I cried so much for you. Baby, that's nothing new. So it's a little bit of a different rhythm from. So those rhythms seem to work well for me. Then I often do, like Money Tree is a good one. It's got to be a different beat, but still really an upbeat. And I'm playing a different style of guitar there. Not so much chordal, but I kind of saved the single string stuff for a little bit later. After I played a bunch of, this might sound strange, but after I played a bunch of things that are really more chordal. And then, you know, yeah. So that was working. Of course, it's not the only way. I've often started out with this instrumental rock house, which I did a lesson on this one. That's real solid meat and potatoes, you know. And it says what I'm all about, because you know, if I go to a blues show and I don't hear a lump, to me, I'm let down. It didn't do it for me. It's like seeing a horror movie that's not scary. It's just, So I want to give them that hard lump. And I put that, in this set, I put it 4th, but I could have switched that around. But then I did Funky Person, I'm not going to say the word, by Sun Seals. Because that's a funky driving thing, especially when people want to dance. And that worked out really well. So it's like what are these songs good for? Some songs really make people want to dance. And then some songs, like when I did Rock House in Mexico, there were people like banging their heads, you know. They were banging their heads. So I want people to bang their heads. I want them to dance. And then, so that's what, these are the purposes of these songs, and they say something about my playing because it's real Chicago, it's real traditional, but it's not like every song is Jimmy Rogers with finger picks or whatever either, you know? It's a little more accessible. I mean, Funky Person is super accessible to anybody. I mean, even young people who are into Fish and stuff like that, they recognize the song. So it's nice to have, that song functions basically as a bridge. And that's for me, you know, when it can be abridged for people who are like, they're not quite ready for all the lumps and the pretty chords and stuff. It's a little bit of a foreign language to them maybe, but they get this, you know. You know, they get the aggression of that right away, and maybe they even recognize it because of Fish, for example. Then, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've just done 5 pretty aggressive, hard-hitting songs in a row because I'm trying to command their attention. This is more for a festival kind of a set, not really playing at some little restaurant where you got to be super quiet, although they still want you to rock out, or they still want you to be strong. And, you know, you can't just, like, back down to the point of not even being there. So you just, that's when it comes to volume. You're just gonna have to play it with these little chopsticks or whatever. I mean, if you're stuck in that kind of a situation, right? So I know we've all done that. And then, all right, let's bring it down a notch a little bit. I have a song for that. One of my own tunes is called "I Did the Best I Could." It's kind of like, we can all be quiet now, you know, a little bit. After 5 good aggressive songs, you know, it's a nice time to take it down a little bit. And the lyrics are really personal. And I even have like a little joke. I'm like, this is the most depressing song of the whole night. Yeah. You know, and it works for me. I mean, jokes, not everybody can tell jokes. I'm actually very poor at it, but I have a couple of good ones. If you have some jokes, if you can tell jokes, I mean, some people are amazing. I've always been so like, you know, I've been amazed by like people like Tab Benoit. I mean, I guess he was a comedian, and he could talk for like 25 minutes and just crack you up. He hasn't even played a note. And you know, I'd love to be able to do that, but I would definitely bomb in the first 45 seconds. But a couple of little zingers here and there can help. It can sort of make you look approachable. And by the way, guys, don't wear sunglasses on stage unless you're truly suffering or something. I mean, you want to actually connect with the audience, which means your eyes. And you don't want to look like too cool for your audience. That's just me. That's how I think that's what you ought to do. So the point of a joke, everything should have a point. The point of a joke is to say like, hey, I'm not like, you know, Mick Jagger or somebody here. You know, I'm just like a man standing here playing guitar, and we could all like relax and enjoy it and have fun. That's kind of the point when I try to tell a joke, although I'm not very good at it. So, all right, the sensitive song is over, okay? Everybody like got sad. I want people to get really sad, at least for one song. I mean, I want them to be like crushed. I mean, if at all possible, because really, I mean, the mood is everything. So I just took the mood way down and it got kind of sad. Now, okay, let's pick it up again and get back to business. So I have, you know, there's songs that are kind of like boogaloos or like rockin' boogaloos, like I do this song called Chills all the time. This is a good one. Cold chills. Cold. It works for me. It doesn't have to be that. It could be like something that's really... Get back to the meat and potatoes. For me, whatever your meat and potatoes is, man. Like Pink Champagne or songs of mine that are like this. That sounds good. I could have used that one. And then maybe one of my own tunes will keep it going. A few tunes like that. So I'm trying out songs one after the other and trying to put myself in the mood of each song, and it's working. This is a solid set. This is my song, I Need Something Sweet. It could be like an Otis Rush song, it could be a typical box, or I could do another sort of song like Teddy Bear. A good 12/8 rhythm is nice. I have a few of those. Like I Hear You Knocking. I do Guitar King like that. I definitely want one or two of those because I like that. It's a groove that I like that I can really stretch out and play some nice guitar in. And there's some songs that really, they're on my CDs and they work. Another good groove, you could do something a little more modern, like I do It All Went Out Down the Drain sometimes. Anyway, that's a cool one. Some song that, you know, with a strong, more of a straight beat, or even like one of my own songs, Won't Get Married Again, that works. It has a beat like dot, 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 dot. So these beats follow each other in a nice way. Okay, guess what? It's been like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's been about 9 songs. We're about 45 minutes in now. I'm just give each song about 4 minutes. You want to time your sets too. One of the most important things on my pedal board is a clock, because you can't be looking at your watch, but you got to know what time it is, because there's times when that really matters, and you really shouldn't be going overtime if things are specified. If you can just relax and play whatever you want, start when you want, end when you want, that's great. I love those kind of gigs, but it's good to have a tightly focused set that lasts for X amount of time, too. I have another one of my own tunes called Get My Blues On, and that has a so that fits well. Looks like my set list is kind of a hot mess, isn't it? Because I wrote some alternates in there, because you might want to change your mind sometimes, and changing your mind is okay. You know, just say, gee, it really felt like a different, people were really going nuts, so I wanted to keep going like hard and fast or something. That's fine. What song are you going to close with? That's super important. The opening is really important. The closing is really important. I always close with Blues Man Comes to Town, one of my own tunes, and it's like, And during that song, I walk around and I fist bump people, or I thank them for coming, because the song's all about, that's what the song's all about. So it's a moment. So it would be nice if there's some nice moment with you in the audience, like a sing-along, or where you walk around, or whatever it might be. You don't have to walk around. I mean, I do that in this song a lot. But a song where you say something personal and you bridge that gap, right? So then, hey, let's say they loved it, and you got time for one more. Then like I want to like really rock them out again. And I've got like 5 or 6 songs that really fit that description. I mean, I'll do Sweet Home Chicago, have people sing, and then it's like I walked around, I shook their hands, I thanked them, and then they all sang. Guess what? They're feeling happy. I mean, it's really great if people at the end of your show, they actually feel elated. Like I saw the Elvin Bishop Big Fun Trio, and with Willie Jordan singing so great, and like, you know, the last song was like their version of like, Your Love Is Lifting Me Higher or whatever. I mean, they came out with this Ike Turner guitar instrumental, which was just smoking. And so they came out like all business, you know. And then he did all these good songs, and it had an ebb and flow to it. And he ended with that, Your Love Is Lifting Me Higher. And like, there was just a genuine feeling of total elation. So you want that. Sometimes I've ended with the looking good, you know. If the feeling is right, you know. If people like have this sort of pent up energy, and because that last song I did was a bit on the medium slow side, and you don't just want dead slow and fast, you want at least like 8 tempos going. You know, you want slow, medium slow, like a good shuffle, a faster shuffle, and then like also we never did do a super fast tune in here, but I one like that. I mean, of your own, whatever it might be. One really, well, Funky Person is pretty fast, really. But you want spaces for all that. You know, something to rile them up, man. Something to make them bang their fist on the table. Whatever that might be. What is that for you? And what is the one that's going to fit you the best? I just used these songs as an example of songs that fit me. They make sense coming from me. I feel good coming, you know, with it coming from me. It says something about me, and it has an ebb and flow. So that's kind of what it's all about. And I would really go to some of these better artists, watch their shows, and think about why they put this song third, why they put this song fourth. What's their last song? What's their first song? How do they talk to the audience? That kind of thing. Because those guys, the people who are doing well, they've all discovered solid answers for them. And God, I remember I used to like never plan it out at all. And because I feel, well, I got to feel it. I got to blah, 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 blah. But then I'd stand up there not knowing what the hell I was doing, or not wondering what song to do next. And that's not fun for the audience. They don't have time for that. They're already doing you a favor by taking time out of their day and listening to your show. So, you know, if you can get into a flow without any plan at all and communicate it, great. But otherwise, like, it's good to sort of set yourself up for success some kind of way. If you make a list, just the act of making a list helps you think about it and play a bit of it, each one, and see how do you like to feel from one to the other. And you know, I think you'll bring your show up a little bit. So I hope that you guys found this helpful. It's a lot to talk about, a lot to think about. And hope to see you at a show. And thanks for watching. Join me on Patreon to support these free videos every Monday. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time. Thanks.